Question for you. Do you have someone in your life who is quite simply hard to figure out? And so, do you spend a lot of time trying to figure them out, trying to understand why they do things, what that meant when they said this, trying to figure out what their true feelings are, trying to guess what they meant by something, trying to anticipate what they might say or do next? Do you feel like you're not really sure exactly how they even feel about you, whether they like you or don't like you? Do you feel sometimes like maybe they're mad at you or angry, but you're not quite sure about what? Sometimes do you think to yourself, well, maybe they're depressed or upset about something? You get the point of what I'm saying. Some people are not easy to figure out because they aren't good communicators. A lot of times, these people who are hard to figure out, they don't even know themselves how they feel about things a lot of times. A lot of times, these people are just really dreadfully out of touch with themselves. They are not attuned or self aware about who they are, what they want, what their emotional needs are. Okay. These are really challenging people to be in relationship with. And you know what? It could be in your personal life, it could be in your romantic life. It could be a family member. It could be someone at work. And you know what? It's especially tricky if it's someone at work and it's someone who is in a position of power over you. For example, a boss. That's really tricky. But the point is, a lot of people have someone like this in their life who is really hard to figure out. Here's what's important, though. Not everyone who has someone in their life who's hard to figure out spends a ton of time trying to do that, trying to figure them out, playing a mental detective of sorts, spending so much time and focus and energy on that person and trying to crack the code, so to speak, trying to understand them. That's what I'm going to talk a little bit more about today. I always think it's important to look at the big picture, big picture, to try to zoom out and try to get to the root of something to figure out what it means. Once you really kind of understand something, understand why you do something, you can then go about fixing it if it needs fixing. So, what I'm going to be talking about is not just having someone in your life who is difficult to figure them out. You know what? Some people you may never figure out. And the reason is because how are you able? How is anyone supposed to figure someone out who isn't clear about their own feelings in the first place, who a lot of times they themselves don't even know? So, how on earth could you beat them to the punch and figure it out first? It's probably not very likely. But what you can do is focus on the things that you can control. Okay. And that is why I want to talk about if you are someone who spends too much time, goes too far, invests too much energy in trying to figure that person in your life out. Okay. You know, it's almost like some people, they could honestly earn a sort of honorary PhD trying to figure certain people out. That's how much time they spend in it. And people may go online and try to read extensively about people, try to understand psychology better, when the truth is, a lot of times it also reflects something about them. If they get stuck in this behavior pattern where they won't stop, they won't give up until they finally figure that person out. This type of overthinking, this type of over focusing, really almost like a type of fixation on figuring someone out. This is at root compulsive. Compulsive. It's a really important word, an important word for you to think about and also just kind of understand. So you may know what compulsive means, but sometimes it's helpful to go back to the definition. Compulsive. When you compulsively do something, it means that you feel unable to stop doing it. You feel unable to stop. You feel an irresistible urge to do that particular behavior. And in this case, it may be to think. Yes, thinking is a behavior. And some people compulsively think about another person and compulsively try to figure another person out. And listen, this is an important part of that definition. When I said irresistible urge, they feel the urge to think about them more. They can focus on details and circumstances and what they said or did yesterday. They may replay in their mind things that the other person said or did, go over and review texts or reread emails again and again. Gosh, there's no end to it. It is bottomless. It is limitless when you get stuck compulsively trying to figure out another person. Okay. If you have someone in your life and you're trying to figure them out like that, it's not good for you. Because so many people, you'll never really get the closure that you need. You'll never truly, really be able to finally figure someone out. And also, it's not good for you because you're going to burn yourself out trying to figure them out and wasting so much energy on something that really you're not going to be able to master. And then finally, the main point that I want to leave you with here is to think about this question. Is overthinking about someone and trying to compulsively figure them out and fixating on them and what they do and what they say, is that actually a type of controlling behavior on your part? If you end up spending so much focus trying to figure out the other person, is that actually a type of controlling behavior? And I can share with you that there are many different types of controlling behavior. We, a lot of times, think of controlling behavior as if someone is being really malicious or mean spirited. But no, a lot of controlling behavior that people engage in, it's actually meant to try to give a person a sense of order and control in their world. So, if you have someone in your life who is really difficult to figure out, who doesn't communicate well, who is out of touch with their own feelings, who maybe acts out in really confusing ways, who maybe is erratic or contradictory in so many ways. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's confusing. But if you try to think too much about them and figure them out, what you're really trying to do is get to the point where finally, at long last, you figure them out so that you have some degree of control in that relationship. Not control over them, but control over your understanding of who they are. And the thinking is, well, if I understand their motivations better, if I understand who they really are, what they really want, what they're really trying to do, what their true agenda is, what they're actually capable of. Once I understand that, then I will know how to operate in a peaceful way, in harmony in this relationship. But again, and I think you understand from everything I've already shared in this video, a lot of times that sense of closure that comes from the mastery of this person, of this person's personality, of this person's psychology that you're really trying to get, it usually doesn't come. It usually doesn't come. So, my encouragement to anyone figuring out another person ad nauseum, at length, is to come to see that actually you may be trying to control someone or something in a way that you might not even be aware of. The only thing that we truly, have control over is our own behavior. Okay. I hope this has been helpful. And I say that with my full heart and soul because I know from working with so many people as a psychologist for over 20 years, I know just how difficult, how taxing, how exhausting it is for people to try to figure another person out. I'm Dr. Seth, psychologist. I hope you may find some other videos here among my hundreds of videos I have recorded for you helpful on my channel, Dr. Seth, psychologist.